Hi everyone, it's Gothic Man here. So today I thought I'd do a bit of a mummy talk about the earlier years of my kids. They're both now school aged, but finding the time and being comfortable in the place to talk about this stuff and the types of parents that you meet in schools sometimes and childcare centres. So I first put my children in a long daycare centre. So a long daycare centre is from newborns to school age. That's what a long daycare centre is. But a long daycare centre is they're not really required to teach your kids any school readiness skills. It's kind of like a glorified child minding type thing, but still with professionals that are trained academically, and they do little fun activities throughout the day that do help learning and developmentally, but just they're not actually required to do all the school readiness prep. So I always wanted to put my kids in a preschool, but of course I wasn't sure about preschools because I've been told that some preschools will not let your children go if they're not toilet trained or have general basic skills. So I ended up putting my kids in a long daycare centre. At first it was good. They weren't rude to me or anything like that, and they embraced my kids. But of course there's something off with Michael. So it was starting to notice, and I was starting to notice that there was something not quite right with Michael. So of course they wanted an assessment or a review, someone to come in and observe, and we did that. And of course we're going down the road of diagnosing him with autism and coming to terms with that. So that was all fine, and this is why you put your kids in centres sometimes, is because you want them to interact with other kids, you want them to have friends, it's just all that stuff. You want to go back to work. There are many reasons why you put your kids into childcare. I wanted it for friendships more than anything, for my kids to know other kids around the area, so then when they start primary school it's not so overwhelming or distressing for them. So I went down the road of autism. One thing I was noticing with this long day care centre was it was very flashy. They had the very, look at us, we look good, we look professional, and all the families that have their kids at this place were very, I am going to say, like a stick up their asses would be the best way to explain it. And I guess the vibe I was getting were these were all working families or families that were a bit more well off. And also my area where I live, there's not many young parents. There are a lot more older parents, like in their 30s, 40s. Like that's kind of the age of the parents in this town. They're all in their 30s, 40s. So that didn't stress me out. I'm like, oh, that's fine. They're older parents, that's cool. But that was sort of the vibe I was getting. So it was like a generational gap. So I found not really many of the families were really chatty towards me or wanted to get to know me. It was like maybe quick, short, sweet conversations, but none of them were really, I never really gained friendships with these families because of the fact is they were the way they were, probably more judgier than other families, I would say. And then, I did make some couple of friends from that centre, but it's more the ones I had to approach myself to go out of my way to befriend these people, and then they got to know me. But I never found sort of proper connections with people from that centre, and probably who I am too. Doesn't always help, but I don't care. because I'm still going to talk to people and not be judgy. So eventually I had to move my children out of that centre, and that wasn't because of the families or the other people. This was because of the fact that my boys were autistic, and some places don't know how to handle autistic children, or it's just not the right fit. So, I was going through this journey spiral of being diagnosis, coming to terms with that, and what the realities of that looked like, and therapies. So it was a really stressful time and overwhelming time in my life. So I eventually moved my kids into a preschool. So of course I had all the fears and doubts about them not being toilet trained. Complete opposite experience to the long daycare centre. Everyone was friendly. They all greeted you like, you haven't seen them in years. It was just like a lovely, how are you? How are you going? So open and friendly. And it was more warming environment. And there were more open-minded families, I would say, that come to this preschool. So you get all walks of life people. So there's like really alternative-looking people, hippies, not really so much alternative like the way you think alternative. It's all mainstream alternative, being a bit more hippie or spiritual types, that sort of thing. I'm the only goth, making that clear. But this was just a completely different environment, and the families all took me on board as who I am. None of them judged me. They were all really open and kind, and I've made some amazing friendships from that. So that makes all the difference. And I got along with all the staff, and they were very accepting and understanding of my boys' autism. And I kind of grew with them, and we got better with how to support my children better and what works for them, what doesn't. And they would let me, if I needed to settle Michael for an hour, they would just allow that, at the beginning. Like, of course, and what centre does that? Usually it's the drop and go, but they were just comfortable to sort of let this happen. So I just had this amazing experience with the preschool, and just more friendly, different pace. Fast forwarding now to primary school parents. It's so different. Primary school parents are so different. Again, it's really weird. Parents that are with kids, younger kids from childcare or preschool age, they're more warm, opening. They want to make friendships with you. Then, you know what I mean? Where when you get to primary school, it's a different level of parenting. Again, it's really strange. You get all the working parents, and you get the go-getter parents, but you now get parents that want to do the P&C. So that's like your parents' body group that do fundraisers. So you get the parents that approach you that want you to join the P&C. And they're like quite pestering. They're like, you should join the P&C. You should do this. And you just go, no. And then you got the ones that do the school canteen. And you get these really go-getter parents that just want to get involved with everything, and they've got these big attitudes and energy levels. So they want to get to know you, and they want to include you into things that they're doing. So it's really strange. Like, you still get your working parents that are judgy, but there's too many other parents to bother dealing with that. And you get your cliquey parents too, which is really funny. You get the parents that will do the morning drop-offs every morning, and they'll get in their little groups and they'll chat in their little groups, and they don't always involve you in their groups too, because I've been in the group a little bit listening, but they don't actually fully include you in the group, or it'll be two of them only talking. It won't be too much backwards cross conversations. So I find the dynamics are quite funny, or it's just gossipy stuff too, which is really strange. And I'm just oblivious to half the people in the town that they're talking about, so I just don't get caught up in their gossiping or their clickiness. But yeah, it's quite funny. And then you get a lot of parents that frown on other people's kids. I don't really like that, where they might make a comment about the backpack that kid's got or the shoes that kid is wearing. So it becomes this really who's richer, who's poorer conversations, and what they're like with their kids, and it's just like, whoa, that's not who I am. I don't do that shit. Like I have 2 autistic kids. I don't have time to think about if that kid has a more expensive backpack than another kid. So, so it's just a really strange dynamic. Parents at primary schools. My experience is, I've made friends with other parents. Have I made best friends out of these people? No. Maybe 1 or 2 of them that I could really say proper friends, but the rest I'd say they're acquaintances or school drop-offs, quick hello. Like, hi, how are you? You get a lot of the walk past, dropping your kid off, hello, how are you? How you going? Quick chit-chat, gone. It's just literally like that. It's like you don't even, some of the parents will stay after school and chat together in front of the school and stuff, but generally, friendship-wise, I can't say. I find it really tricky to actually make friends. Like, if anything, it might be quickly go for coffees. Like, because some of the parents, they all go to the same coffee shop after school. And sometimes I'll go to those places, like, to meet another friend. So you end up chatting to them that way. So they become more acquaintances or quick friends without coming over and doing stuff on the weekends or whatever. I sort of gravitate to the parents that my kids are friends with. So, like, Michael's got about 4 friends. So they're the mums I've sort of had to befriend to organise stuff together with. And that's sort of how you get in your loop or your circle with your kids at school, is finding out who their friends are, finding out who those parents are, and then it makes a really nice, that way you can organise all to go to the park together, or my example, Michael likes to go kick a soccer ball, so I organise to all meet on the oval so all the kids can go play soccer together. So that's sort of my journey of school parents and the weird dynamics of it. I'm still learning, still growing. So if you want more videos like this, please let me know in the comments down below. I do read the comments, so I want to know what's everyone's opinions. Do you like me talking a little bit more about my kids and my experiences? So thank you for watching this video, and until next time, see ya.